Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Zakk Wylde, Black Label Society, and you're watching BackstageAxxess.com, where the real action begins.
You're here at BackstageAxxess.com. We're here at NAMM 2015 with the one and only Zakk Wylde.
Hey there.
What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, buddy?
It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And now we're actually promoting the Wylde Audio Collection. Tell us about the wonderful guitars, the amps, the pedals. You want to start with the guitars first?
Well, they basically how it all happened. My Marshall family, my Gibson family, and my Dunlop family, and my Avey family, they basically said, son, you've been married for 28 years, you have 4 children, it's time to get out of the house and get a job. And basically that's where we're at right now. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I just, like I said, I've been truly blessed to be with Marshall and Gibson and Dunlop, and I guess Avey. I've been with them forever, so I mean, they are my family. So I mean, but the whole thing is basically, if I was moving out of your parents' house, you know, I mean, if we were using sports as an analogy, it's like I was a player, I was a coach, then a GM, and now the next step is to be a team owner. So, and you know, I'm just around the people that are working with me right now are just. It's a gang that a bunch of people I've respected throughout the years and I'm friends with, and the opportunity came up to do this, and now I own my own company. So that's that. And
people probably want to know when the company obviously is going to be fully operational, selling, and when people can start buying the product and whatnot.
Oh, well, we're gonna obviously everything here is the gang was able to knock this out because they were just like, well, Zakk, there's probably going to be. You're going to have to tweak some things. I said, well, that's the whole point. You got to, this stuff's got to be made first for us to see what we can make better and what we can tweak on it. So,
right.
But the whole thing is, the gang was able to get this together just so we could be here for NAMM, just to let everybody know that this is really happening and we're really doing this. So, but no, it's just probably this whole year we're going to be. Obviously, next year will be the full-blown blowout in there, but you know, it's just us tweaking things right now and getting everything together. So, and basically, once it goes into production, what I'll do is just eventually retire my Gibsons and retire my Marshalls, and obviously, I'm not getting rid of them. It's part of who I am, and I love them. So, but and then it'll just be nothing but Wylde Audio. And I'm sure, you know, it's the same approach that me being with Gibson and me being with Marshall and Dunlop and everything like that. You know. It has to be slamming stuff. The quality of it, and you know, like I would do with all the Marshall stuff and with the Gibson stuff when we would get it, and we tweak it until it was the way we wanted it. You know, it was slamming. So, you know, being with now that I have my own studio with the Black Vatican, we'd give it the Black Label Pepsi Challenge. We would A/B the heads, so we could actually take. What we do is take one of my best amps, and then we'd A/B the prototype against it, and obviously, so it's bigger. Fidelity wise, and the shimmering highs, the mids, and then a tight bottom, and it's just so, and you could hear it through the little speakers in the thing, so you're not blasting away, but you'll have a winner and a loser, whether it's whether we got it or we beat it. For the amps, anybody that worked with you creating the amp, well, I mean, like I said, all the people that I'm working with. I've respected for years, and now that's why we're all working together. But it's the same approach and why wouldn't I? It's if we were a New York Yankee, and now we're going to start our own team. It's the same approach. You just you play to win. So the whole thing is that all the stuff has to be same thing with the guitars. The wood has to be slamming, and the craftsmanship has to be great. So that's that. There is no. I'm going to go out and play inferior stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just pointless.
And I'm sure the other companies, your models have sold very well. So when you probably went to them and said, "Listen, it's time for me to move on," I'm sure they weren't happy about that.
No. I mean, I think I'm still tight with everybody that, you know, they all know it's just a natural progression of things to do, you know. I mean, it's just without a doubt.
And the products that are being made, like say the guitars, are we talking like specific manufactured companies here in America, or are we talking somewhere in Japan?
No, obviously, I mean, I think with all companies, obviously made in America for sure. But then obviously when you source other things out in other countries, you can get it, keep the prices down low. I mean, it's just that every company does that, right? You know, so but obviously you want to have your American-made stuff, of course. But I mean, but the thing is, at the end of the day, it's always about the quality of what you're making. If it's garbage, it's garbage. No matter whether it's made in Seattle or New Jersey. I mean, if it's junk, it's junk.
Right. You know? Now, have you played any of these guitars on the road yet?
No. This is the first time I've actually seen any of them or picked them up.
Okay. So this is brand spanking
from my drawings, you know, for me sketching them out and showing you guys the drawings, and then us coming up with and then you guys making them. So, you know, this is the first time I'm actually seeing them.
Possibly.
So, and actually jamming on them. So,
are you going to be taking maybe these out on the road, say, give them a whirl when you guys go to your European?
I mean, yeah, exactly. And then obviously we got to tweak. There's certain things need to be tweaked, and that's the whole reason why we're here, you know. But they're pretty close, without a doubt. And the amps are pretty close as well.
Now, how are you going to balance running a company like this? Obviously, it's going to be a major undertaking, and then touring and doing the black label, you know, the music, and how are you going to balance everything?
Well, you know, it's just like me being the team owner. You're the manager, and you're the pitching coach. You know, I mean, you have to you put the right people in place.
Delegate,
You know, so I mean, I'm not going to be coaching the pitchers.
Right.
You know, that's up to the boss here. You know what I mean? And that's not your job either. You know what I mean? Your job is dealing with the whole team.
So out of the models here, which one, when you walked in, because you said this is the first time you're seeing them, which one caught your eye the most?
Well, no, I mean, obviously we threw the Odin horn over here, so you got well, this one is the Odin, you know, we just nicknamed that one, and then obviously you got the Viking V, then that's the Warhammer over there, and then this is just a bunch of the ones that the gang was able to make so we could be here today. So, but I got a bunch of different other body shapes and stuff like that ready to go.
And the bullseye, obviously, the classic.
Well, that's just so you know, the wife and the kids remember who I am when I come home. They go, oh, it's Uncle Frank.
Any of the pedals? We didn't talk about the pedals.
Well, so the pedals are being made right now.
Okay.
But obviously, you know, I have all my Dunlop stuff right here. So all my Dunlop signature stuff.
Did you want to do a demonstration on one? Possibly play a little bit?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. No problem.
And actually, to me, I mean, it sounds clean over here. I mean, what do you guys? I think it does. I mean, you've been playing all day. Have you noticed any difference in any tone between guitars? Or
play great. No, without a doubt. I mean, they did a phenomenal job with this thing, man. You know, with the ebony fretboard, maple neck, the frets. I'm digging the frets right now. The action on the frets, like usually 6,000 fret wire, but my EMGs. So I'm digging it, man, for sure.
Sounds good. Looks good. Obviously, you got the W there to, you know, did you actually, I have to talk about, did you kind of like say, you know, what kind of logo do I really want? I mean, did you kind of, or you knew right away?
No, you know, some people had asked me, they said, why the W? I said, why didn't you go with A? I said, well, what's A? And they go, asshole. Well, he just put that up there, Zach. That's very un-Catholic, you know. So, anyways, I said, but my last name's Wild. What's A? Asshole. But you know, and that was coming from my children. But anyway, so no, I just, yeah, obviously, I figured, you know, we'll put W up there.
Yeah, it looks obviously very aesthetic, and you could tell that's you. And look at, if you get a close up, obviously the amps back here.
With the W up there, Zach, we can go way beyond asshole. Once again, very un-Catholic. Such a nice way.
Anything, I know you don't have the pedals here, but maybe since you don't, you might want to tell everybody regarding the pedals out there a little bit, like what they, you know, they can expect.
Well, I mean, these little, the little head right here, I mean, we got a, like, you know, a little bit of a built-in delay type thing in there, and you got verb and everything, which is always cool. It's fun to play with, but no, I mean, obviously with all my Dunlop pedals, I mean, you know, it's obviously the distortions, the choruses, flangers, rotovibes, wahs, stuff like that. So, but I have some ideas for some other pedals I want to make as well. So we're definitely developing that as well. But like I said, it's Wild Audio. So, I mean, eventually it's going to be everything down to studio outboard gear, Pro Tools stuff, plugins, microphones, everything. It's just not going to be down to guitars and amps and pedals. It's just everything.
Are you going to have a central location for the, are we talking LA for the
well, I mean, it's,
corporation?
Well, it's Wild Audio. I mean, everything's under the umbrella of that. I mean, I'm looking forward to how to, you know, silence refrigeration so the sound is noise, air conditioning, you know, maybe put a silencer on your blender when you're making that, you know, 18th Bloody Mary at about 3:30 in the morning. You know, you don't want to wake anybody up.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying, just try. You can be creative and just make it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Any different, obviously you have the tan and you have the black, any other aesthetic or a different type of color amps, or
yeah,
just
no,
stick with
everything. I want to make, you know, I mean, every color, Tolex and stuff like that. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you'll see it. I'll be putting it out on Instagram and Twitter, all the social media, just the different looks of the amps and stuff like that, for sure. But these, you know, I just said for these two, I just said let's just start with these, you know, with the cream, and then obviously the black guy and the pinstripes and stuff like that. So we'll start with that.
So obviously this is.
And then we'll go into the masculine magenta and pink with the unicorn. Yes, that's mine. That's what I'm looking forward to.
2015 is going to be obviously the year of Wild Audio, and this is going to be a huge undertaking. As I said, Zakk's going to be delegating pitching, and spring training is going to be right around the corner, I believe.
Yeah, so
pitchers and catchers are going to be reporting.
Make sure you guys got to, you know, we made sure we got a good draft, some trades were made, you know, and you guys are just, you know, taking care of the players. So it's yeah, you just put the right people in place.
NAMM 2016.
And we just make sure we keep Jose Canseco out of the locker room.
Steroids in the butt.
Yes.
Good.
We don't want anybody. Nobody's messing with our steroids and our Kimi Kardashian quick trim.
2016 NAMM is probably when, like you're saying, where the full ensemble of the, you know, having a booth and rare. That's what you're aiming for, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, anything else regarding the touring? Obviously, you're doing Europe, Black Label. I think that only goes to the beginning of summer, though. Correct?
We'll be in the booth and in the back alley with the steroids and the Kimi Kardashian quick trim on the side.
Where's BLS?
What do you think's paying for to get this stuff made? Okay.
BLS this summer. What's going on? You guys doing some festivals?
Tour, and tour some more, and then. You know, because we're still paying off that bar tab from the early Animal House years of Black Label. And we haven't even made a dent in that thing yet. But, no, we're just out rolling right now. So we just got done rolling with our Road Warrior Brethren's Hatebreed and the Butcher Babies, you know, so that was a blast. Great time, great people. So, Yeah, we got done with that. Now we're getting ready to head over to Europe right now. So, and we're with all the European chapters. So, looking forward to that. It's always a good time.
And you're actually a part of Oz Fiesta, right? That's like
yes, I'll be out there with the boss and mom.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be very cool.
That's in May, I believe. Correct?
Yes. I think
okay. So, stay tuned for Zakk Wylde Audio, and I believe is it wildaudio.com?
Yes.
Okay.
You just Wild Audio. You can find it on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff.
All right. Check it out. NAMM 2015, Zakk Wylde and his beautiful collection of amps and guitars and soon-to-be pedals, which you can't see, but they're not here
and
anyways.
marital aids as well. Let's not forget that. Let's remember where the money's at, kids.
BackstageAxxess.com. Thanks for taking the time. NAMM 2015. Check it out.
Cheers, guys.